Welcome back to geometry class. This week you're lucky you get a little bit of a reprieve as far as work goes. You have a project. Once you pick up your work, you'll notice there's a packet with the project that is the main work. That's basically 4 days worth of work, and then this will be your 5th day of work, which is that Geometry Review A packet, which basically goes over stuff we covered in the very beginning of the book. We're going ahead and starting our final review, and this covers lines and angles and how to classify them and how to label them and how to read them. And so this is going to be a very short video because most of that stuff everybody did really well on, and it's pretty self-explanatory. It doesn't really need a whole lot of explanation. I just want to make sure that you know exactly how to read and what they're talking about. There's 25 questions in this review, but they're not very difficult. You will not be measuring any. However, in the next week or two, you probably want to make sure you find your protractor and have it out, because I'm sure that will be coming. So, classifying angles. I just drew a random picture with angles and labeled it randomly, and that looked like an L, but it's really supposed to be a C. And I wrote down some random, I wouldn't say random, but some of the main facts that you want to look at. Right angles are equal to 90 degrees. Straight angles are equal to 180. Acute is less than 90, and obtuse is more than 90 but less than 180. And learning how to pick those things out. So, first of all, when you write an angle or read an angle or label an angle, there are a couple different ways that it can be done. If we are looking at, and I'll put this little box, usually when you see a little box like that, that symbolizes a right angle. A right angle is when two straight lines cross perpendicular and make 4 right angles, or 1 if it just stops right there. But we'll look at this angle that goes along here and here, and we could label that angle AOB, angle BOA, or some people, angle O. Notice that the O, no matter which way I read this, the O, which is the vertex, that's the point where the two lines connect to make the angle. So this line and that line connect it right there. That's the vertex. That has to stay in the middle. Otherwise, both of these are correct, but that needs to stay in the middle when you label that angle or when they ask you about it. If, in this circumstance, if I labeled this just angle O, that's not enough information, because this could be angle O, this could be angle O, this could be they're all of their vertexes or vertices are angle O. So label it more so like this and not like that, and make sure that the point where the two lines come together, the vertex, is the middle letter, okay? So that's how you write them. So in this lesson, they may say identify right angles, straight angles, acute angles. They may give you a certain degree or something like that. If I said label a right angle that's not AOB, because I just labeled that one, you might say angle AOE, this one right here. Okay, a straight angle is a straight line. It's 180 degrees, but you can think of it as like the horizon. A straight angle example of that would be AOC, BOE. Those are both straight lines. So we could do a straight angle as angle COA. The right angle, AOE. Okay, an acute angle is less than 90. Okay, so when I look in this box, if this whole thing here and here is the right angle, if I split this into 2 different pieces, those add to make 90 degrees. So this one has to be acute, so COD. Or this one has to be acute because DOE is still less than 90 if the whole thing is 90, okay? So that is an example of a acute angle. All right, what about an obtuse angle? Obtuse is more than 90 but less than 180. Okay, you're not going to get a straight thing. But if we look at this line to this line, right there, that could be an obtuse. All right, right here, this point right here makes 90, and then we go past to 90, but we don't get all the way back up to 180. So obtuse is a big angle, and we call that one DOA. Okay, I don't know if it covers it on this paper, but there's also a reflex angle, and now that would be if I was going from here all the way around to here, because we surpass the 180 mark and we go past 180, but it's past 180 but before 360 because we measure angle in openings. This one I measured this way, but you can measure them that way. So that's just a little something to think about. That pretty much covers just about everything. Most of this is just labeling, and most of the information is on the paper. Now there is a portion on the last page where it's going to give you an angle, 98 degrees, okay? You don't have to draw it. You do not have to measure it. It's going to ask you, is this acute, right, straight, or obtuse? Well, it's more than 90 and less than 180. It's obtuse. Okay, so you're just going to write that down there. And then the last 4 questions are going to give you an angle, and it says to use the edge of a piece of paper to tell what they are. So say you had an angle that looked like that, and they want you to label it, and you're like, well, how am I supposed to use a piece of paper? And I'm trying to find a piece of paper. The edge of your piece of paper is going to be a right angle. So if I set this on here and line the bottom edge of that paper with that line, okay, and if I went up from here, wow, if I went up from here, that would be the right angle. So this is opened more than a right angle, yet it is not a straight line, so that is obtuse, and I would write obtuse. Okay, so that's what they're asking you to do in that lesson. It should be a very simple lesson. As far as the project that you have this week, the 3D logo project, please make sure that you include all the parts into that. Follow all the directions. Have fun with it. Make it very colorful. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. God bless.